Forbidden Evil Things, Chapter 1, Abridged. Seriously, the day when your housemates don't make your life a misery is the day the universe hits you right between the eyes with a cricket bat. I should have crawled back under my faded flowery duvet cover right then, but the trouble would have found me there too. I got up slowly that morning. Usually I'd try to have my shower before everyone else. The alarm woke me, but the trip-trap of rain on the window pane lulled me back to sleep. I'd stayed up late, checking through my lab notes and reworking my calculations, sure I'd made a mistake. All fine, by the way, it was just nerves. The front door slammed and I jumped out of sleep. For once, enough hot water remained in the tank for my morning shower, a blessed miracle in a shared house. The steamy heat coupled with mandarin and mint shower gel barely cut through the somnolence. After my warm shower, I dragged on the first clothes that came to hand under my sleep-blurred eyes and hurried down the stairs. The lulling rain still pattered on the glass. The milk in the fridge passed the sniffs test, so I added it to my coffee. And, this is a biggie, none of my housemates had left one of their mad science experiments in the sink. I mean by that, of course, no one had left their dishes unwashed for 5 days. So smiling a little at my good luck, I left work. Day job number 1 was as a barista. My family don't support me. The job funded my way through a PhD and onward to better things. Don't get me wrong, I love my aunt and uncle. They brought me up since my parents' death when I was 5. There's no locking me in a cupboard under the stairs. I shared a room with my cousin Narina. They have 2 children of their own to help through university, so I couldn't and didn't expect much help. It's just they hated the very idea of me going into science. At that point I had no idea why. I worked in a boutique coffee shop, the Swanky Swally. The proprietors had moved over to Edinburgh from Glasgow and had brought their dialect with them. During the day we served coffee-flavoured coffee. The evening hours for the after-work crowd included bevies, but I rarely took a late shift. I'm all about the coffee. Early customers are always in a hurry. Some of our morning regulars are too busy to be polite, but hey, I had a good start to my day, so I even managed to remember not to growl when that lady ran her fingers through the foam to check the bubbles were consistent throughout. She does it every day. Some days I dreamed about pouring those bubbles into her immaculately dyed hair. Those are the days when I wanted to stuff my genetics PhD right up their tight arses. Not that gaining it was guaranteed, I still had to defend my work. The morning rush finished, and I was watching the seconds on the clock tick up to the hour when a police officer entered with a small man in a stuffy suit. They stood at the door, pulling on their masks as the manager moved forward to enforce the rule. No mask, no service. Stuffy Suit shook his umbrella outside the door and then folded it, wrapping the elastic around the fabric. The 2 men checked out the 3 baristas on the counter, 2 men, 1 woman, then walked over to me. I wiped up the spill from the last customer and made sure my eyes were smiling over the top of the mask, even though I was supposed to be heading for my break. "Hello, my name is Anita. What can I help you with this morning?" "Anita Taylor?" Stuffy Suit asked. "Yes." My smile wavered under the mask. The police officer leaned in. "Can we speak to you in private, Miss Taylor?" My manager stood at my back. "Is there a problem?" The shift manager was not an asshole, which is a bonus working in the service industry. The man in the uniform managed to smile for the manager. His eyes crinkled above the mask. Couldn't be bothered with one for the girl coffee maker. "We need to speak to Miss Taylor privately." "Is there a problem?" he asked again, shifting his body slightly, an almost unnoticeable edge away, just in case I turned into an axe murderer. Stuffy Suit jumped in, still talking to the manager, not the girlie. No, not at all. We just need a few moments of Miss Taylor's time." "But do I want to give it to you?" Time to reassert who they should be talking to. "It's time for your break, Anita. Why not accompany these people out to the smoking shelter? You can take your masks off to talk." I ripped off my apron and flung it at a hook. The good mood from the hot shower drained away. Sure, why not waste my break on people who can't even be bothered to be polite? I grabbed a soda from the staff fridge and stalked off. They could follow if they liked. Apparently, they liked. Stuffy Suit closed the back door behind them, while I sank onto one of the plastic garden chairs the boss set out for the smokers. Rain beaded on the plastic roof of the repurposed bike shelter. I tucked my mask into a pocket. No one else occupied the back alley, only the stinking bins. I should get out here later and stuff the waste in tighter so the lid's closed properly. Thursday was bin collection, and they were already full with 2 days to go. So what's this about? Hone straight in on the point, then I can get rid of them and have a proper break. I twisted off the cap on my drink and took a swallow. They need to put sugar in these drinks again. I could have used the boost. They took off their masks and stood the proper distance away. Well, as much as they could without standing in the rain. Stuffy Suit took the lead. My name is Jonathan Knighton. I'm a solicitor. I regret to inform you, Miss Taylor, that your father is dead. The police believe his death is suspicious and are investigating. I leaned back in the chair. Huh? Of course he's dead. That's why I went to live with my Aunt Kathleen at 5. Suspicious? 22 years is a long time to suddenly come to that conclusion. Knighton glanced at the officer in confusion. The police officer took over. You are Anita Taylor, daughter of Terence Taylor, the scientist. That's what Aunt Kathleen always said. What's this about? Terence Taylor was killed in his home at some point last week, the officer said. There is a weekly cleaning service. She raised the alarm when she failed to get in. She called through the letter flap and saw your father lying on the floor in the hall. Have you got the right Anita Taylor? I sat up in the plastic chair. I mean, Taylor's not a rare surname. I was given to understand that your aunt, Miss Martinson, gave you a home before social services took you into care after your mother's disappearance, Knighton said. No one made me aware. I didn't understand. What were they talking about? Aunt Kathleen had told me her brother died years ago. I fumbled my phone out and called up the saved numbers. Aunt Kathleen answered immediately. Anita, how lovely to hear from you. Did you have your defence yet? You said my dad was dead. Silence on the other end. Why did you lie? How did you find out? Kathleen shouted. The restraining order on him is still in force if he's approached you. He was murdered last week. The police are here. Murdered? Kathleen made a huffing noise. Well, that's no surprise. He was a bad man. We never did find out what happened to your mother, you know. She just vanished. He managed to cover that up. I stabbed the screen to end the call. Go and talk to his sister! The words echoed around the mouldering alleyway. She knows more than I do. Get out of here! I don't want to talk to anyone! Get out! The manager shoved open the back door. He must have been listening in. You heard my employee. Unless you're going to arrest her, you need to leave. But we need permission, Knighton said. You can wait until Anita is ready to talk to you. I buried my face in my hands. At the edge of my awareness, I heard them leave. Muttered words, shuffled steps. The door closed. They listened to the man and his business MBA, but not the girl with nearly a PhD. Yeah, I should have stayed in bed.
Thank you for watching this reading. Find more Indie Author Reading Library performances on our YouTube channel, along with our Meet the Author interviews and recordings of previous panels. Hit subscribe to get notifications for every new video. Find us at glasgow2024.org and as Glasgow in 2024 on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Check out our cool merch on redbubble.com/people/Glasgow2024/shop and consider joining by emailing volunteers@glasgow2024.org.